Hello, I'm Zoe Antoniades and I'd like to read you a special story for Halloween, Hexo and the Forest of Doom. I wrote it together with a group of children, Adam, Max, Harjeet, Ashpriya and Sai, and I thought it might get us in the mood for Halloween, so I hope you enjoy it. Here goes. Hexo was a wizard. He was old and wise, but also very troubled. As he sat on his throne in his palace feeling worried, he looked out of the window onto the gloomy forest beyond and sighed. The trees were dead, with gnarled roots and bare twisted branches. No birds sang, no flowers grew, and the dry stream flowed no more. This was the forest of doom. "How I wish things were how they used to be," brooded Hexo. For the forest had not always been doom-like. It was once beautiful and peaceful, until Gargona, the evil witch of the north, put a curse on it. "It's time for things to change around here," said Hexo to himself. "Good must conquer evil, and I must get off my throne and do something about it." The only way to restore the forest was to get hold of the necklace that Gargona always wore. A red stone surrounded by black diamonds, which hung on a gold chain around her neck. To break the curse, Hexo had to destroy the stone somehow. Hexo set off towards the North Mountains. He knew that the witch lived there in a cave. However, it was not long before he realised that he didn't know exactly where that might be. Hexo was lost. "I haven't quite thought this through," he said to himself. He was so frustrated that he thumped a tree. "Oi! What do you think you're doing?" came a high-pitched voice out of nowhere. Hexo spun around in surprise. "Who said that?" "I would like to thank you to be more respectful of this tree. Some of us live here, you know," came the squeaky voice again. "Perhaps you could show yourself then," said Hexo, looking towards the tree where the voice seemed to be coming from. At that moment, something landed with a thud on Hexo's shoulder. It shimmered into view. It was the tiniest dragon Hexo had ever seen. It was, in fact, the smallest species of the entire dragon empire. It had an orangey-red body with scales of every colour of the rainbow running down its spine. They went red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. And at the end of its multicoloured backbone was a green tail with an arrow-shaped point. "Who are you?" asked Hexo. "Allow me to introduce myself," said the teeny tiny dragon, hopping down from Hexo's shoulder and giving him a little bow. "My name's Trixo the Tremendous." I don't mean to be rude, but you're somewhat miniature to be tremendous." "You are not the first to say such a thing, but once you get to know me, you will find that I have remarkable ideas," said Trixo, puffing out his chest. "You could come in very handy then, because I'm quite lost, and I could do with someone with terrific knowledge." "Then look no further. I know the entire geography of this land. Where is it you wish to go?" asked Trixo. "I'm trying to get to the North Mountains." Trixo gasped. His eyes widened. "Why on earth would you want to go there? It's a frightful place." "I'm trying to get to Gargona to free the Forest of Doom from her curse." "Well, if you want to do that, you'll be needing the help of the tremendous Trixo." Trixo led them towards the North Mountains. The closer they got to Gargona's lair, the more dark and gloomy the forest became. The ground was like ash, and the sky a grim grey. Instead of birds, there were bats. The trees whispered evil chants, luring Hexo and Trixo closer to the cave. Shadows of demons appeared as they approached. Shivers ran down Trixo's rainbow spine. A bead of sweat trickled down Hexo's forehead. An army of bats lined the entrance to the cave. "Looks like we're outnumbered. We'll never get past this lot," sighed Hexo. "Don't be so vexed, my friend Hex. You're forgetting you're with Trixo the Tremendous. With just one magic word, I can make myself invisible." "What word's that then?" asked Hexo, brightening up. Trixo puffed out his tiny chest and chanted, "Invisibilis magicum vanicioso." "That's 3 magic words, isn't it?" said Hexo, looking around him. "Hey, where'd you go?" "Over here," cried an invisible voice. "That's amazing," said Hexo. "So, what's the plan then?" "You wait here while I sneak into Gargona's cave and steal the necklace. I'll bring it right back, then you can help me to destroy it with your magic wand." Trixo crept into the blackened, damp cave. The smell of decay was everywhere. Cobwebs hung overhead, moss covered the ground, and mushrooms grew from the cracks in the walls. In the corner, on a bed of slime, snored Gargona. She had warts all over her snotty green face and a giant boil at the end of her long nose. A repulsive smell oozed from her feet. Trixo crept towards Gargona and quickly, but very quietly, blew a tiny flame, just enough to melt the chain of the necklace. The pendant fell to the ground. As Trixo bent down to collect it, the smell of Gargona's rotten feet caused him to let out a tiny sneeze. "Achoo!" he spluttered. Though it was the teeniest of sneezes, it was still enough to wake Gargona. "Who dares to enter my lair? Who dares to interrupt my afternoon nap?" screeched Gargona. Although she couldn't see the invisible Trixo, she could hear him panting nervously. She reached for her magic glasses, which enabled her to see Trixo. She chased him out of the cave. Hexo was waiting with his wand poised in the air. As Trixo came running, he made himself invisible once more and held the pendant up high in his tiny claws. Hexo fired arrows of gold and green at the stone, striking the centre of the pendant. Smoky grey currents radiated from it. The demons melted and the bats scattered. "Ah!" screamed Gargona. "What have you done?" She stamped her foot. "You've defeated my army, but you're no match for me, and now you must pay." Gargona had a wand too. It was purple and gnarled like the trees, with a poisonous tip, as evil as her repulsive feet. Both Hexo and Gargona released magic streams from their wands. Hexo's was icy and Gargona's was fiery. They clashed in the middle. Hexo's ice froze Gargona's fire. Her wand was useless now, but Hexo's wasn't, and he used it to turn Gargona into a slimy, snotty green toad. She hopped back to her cave in defeat. "Good job, old fellow!" cheered Trixo. "Well, it was thanks to you too, my little friend." "Let's head back home and see if the curse has been lifted," smiled Hexo. When they returned to the Forest of Doom, it was no longer doom-like. The trees were full of colour and fruit. There were cherry trees, peach trees and pineapple trees. Iridescent birds twittered happily amongst the branches. Flowers of every kind grew as far as the eyes could see. Violets, sunflowers, daisies, bluebells and lilies of the valley. The sky-blue stream chattered and bubbled merrily. "Wow! I cannot believe my eyes!" exclaimed Trixo. "Isn't it all just wonderful?" "It is indeed spectacular," agreed Hexo. "But there's just one problem." "What are you talking about? This is perfect," said Trixo. "Well, we can hardly call it the Forest of Doom any longer, can we?" said Hexo. "How about the Forest of Harmony, suggested Trixo. That's just right, beamed Hexo. This calls for a celebration. That afternoon, the Forest of Harmony put on the most fantastic festival ever. Even the King and Queen came. In a special ceremony, Hexo was awarded the title of Mayor, and Trixo was presented with a medal for his tremendous knowledge, ideas, and bravery. From that day on, everyone lived peacefully in the forest. And as for the witch, she was never heard of again. For all anyone knew, she was still hopping about in her murky cave. Hope you enjoyed that, and happy Halloween to all of you. Have lots of fun.